Welcome to TopShot NFT. I'm your host, Jason. As always, my boy Lennox is a little tardy today, but no worries about that. He will be joining us soon. We've got an awesome guest. Steph, say hello to the TopShot NFT Nation.
Yo, thank you so much for having me. Honored to be on this show and excited to get in some good conversations with you.
If you are sitting there thinking, who is this young lady? Then you're probably new to TopShot, because if you are on Twitter, she has kind of become the queen of TopShot. In my opinion, maybe there's an official crown down the road, but we all have our story of kind of getting introduced to TopShot. You've already kind of started making your rounds on some of the other podcasts. What was it about TopShot that, you decided, like, I'm going to kind of really focus on my Twitter and like sharing all this information? You actually tweeted today, I think I just saw it, where it said, you do know that I don't work for TopShot, right?
People think I work for TopShot. Like, they DM me as if I work for TopShot. I'm like, bro, I actually don't work for TopShot. I'm just a huge fan. And it's just my passion right now. I'm like super passionate about it. But yeah, I first started in October. And how I kind of got into it, like how I even found out about it, because I got in right when they opened up the beta. So people got in as early as June when it was a closed beta. But I wasn't fortunate enough. I didn't even know about it back then. But at least I got in October when they opened it up. And how I found out was I was super into personal development. I still am. But I had dropped out of college 1 year before I was about to graduate. And because I had to pay for everything on my own. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not even learning valuable life lessons. I was majoring in communication. I didn't even want to go to college. I just wanted to do it because my family wanted me to. And I was like, I can't do this. Like, I really can't do this. I'm paying for myself. I'm going to drop out and I'm going to spend thousands of dollars instead on courses online and educate myself. And I started learning.
Can I stop you right there?
Go for it.
Tai Lopez.
Tai Lopez. That is correct.
You got a course from Tai Lopez. I knew it. I knew you were a Tai Lopez.
Dude, I was such a huge fan of Tai Lopez when he first came out. And I know there was a lot of controversy around him, but his courses actually really helped me and really inspired me to kind of get involved with social media. And, and I'm so grateful. And I also got really into Gary Vee. And so Gary Vee was really pushing sports cards, past couple of years. And I was into sports cards a little bit, but not really.
Right.
And so when I found out about NBA TopShot, I was like, dude, if Gary Vee's pushing sports cards, like, wait till he finds out about this. Like, this is like next level. But anyway, I started getting into crypto a little bit. And then I found out about NFTs. And I found out about CryptoKitties. And that was created by Dapper Labs, which NBA TopShot created by Dapper Labs. So I bought a few kitties and I was like, I don't really know much about this. I'm just going to buy a few kitties. I totally forgot about it. Probably a year or two later, I come back and I was like, what happened to my kitties? And I tried to log in and I couldn't figure out how to find the website. And I found the Dapper Labs website. And that's where they were like, we're coming out with NBA TopShot. Put your email in, sign up. We're going to open the beta in a couple days. And I was like, wow. Ooh, this is next level. And that's how I got into TopShot.
Wow. So as far as like the CryptoKitties, because that's interesting to me that it was like 2 years ago that you kind of bought it. I feel like it, we have the Cool Cat Challenge going on, this tribute to CryptoKitties. Is it anywhere similar to what TopShot is? Like, can you kind of just explain what CryptoKitties is?
Yeah, CryptoKitties, it's not super similar to TopShot, to be honest. Yes. They're both very different. And in fact, CryptoKitties, you have to pay ETH to buy them. And so it's a lot harder as a new user coming in to understand how to do, because, you got to create a MetaMask wallet, and it's kind of complicated as your average person if you don't understand, a lot of these things that are in, the whole crypto world. So I love NBA Top Shot because it appeals to the mainstream. Like you can just use your credit card to buy these NFTs, and most NFTs you can't use your credit card. Like a lot of them, you got to use Ethereum, and it's like Ethereum's valuable. Like, do you really want to spend it on a little digital kitty? But Crypto Kitties is kind of like you're just collecting these kitties, and they start at Gen 0, and then every time you breed, it goes to Gen 1, Gen 2, it goes all the way up. So now there's like crazy generations. And I see similarities between series. So for example, Gen 0 right now for CryptoKitties are extremely valuable. If you actually kept any Gen 0s that you like didn't breed, that's extremely valuable. And I see Series 1 being like that for TopShot. Like we're in Series 2 right now, but Series 1 was the original series. So
Right.
I see Series 1, like people don't really see it as much right now because we're just barely in Series 2. But think about when there's Series 100, 200, 300. Series 1 is going to be insane.
Some long holds for you. So I want, beginning of the show, obviously, guys, subscribe to the channel, the shameless plugs that everyone always says on YouTube, hit the like button, all that. More importantly, comment any question that you have. Obviously, we're not doing this live, so we'll answer it for another show. And any thoughts you have on just TopShot in general. And Stephanie, your Twitter handle for everybody?
Steph Pseudo, just my first and last name. STEPHSUTTO.
Got the shameless plugs out of the way. I want to go back to actually Tai Lopez. So did you do like 67 steps, social media marketing company?
Yeah, I did both. I did the first thing I did was a 67 steps. I still have my notes. Every single day I would watch one of those videos and I would take notes on them and really like dive in deep. I got really into reading because Ty was really into reading a book a day. And I have a whole bookshelf at my place and it's all personal development books. And I love to just go back and read what I had highlighted when I was reading like every single day. I'm like on TopShot every day, but you go through different phases in your life. I kind of view my life as like seasons. So sometimes I'm in the season of just learning. Then I'm in the season of like doing. And, that's how kind of I operate. But yeah, Tai Lopez, I took his social media course as well. And I learned a lot about social media.
So I find a lot of parallels, like my past careers, broadcasting. So I'm podcasting now, used to be a sports anchor, but poker for me was what really kind of taught me life lessons. Is certainly about investing, evaluating, ROI, just so many, it made me better with money actually. And it's ironic because people call it gambling. But I came across Tai Lopez. My claim to fame with Tai is that I was the very first person to complete the 67 steps.
Let's go.
Like I was waiting for that last video. When I started the 67 steps, there was only 30. And so we had to wait. And so when the last 67 step dropped, I was the first to comment. And but I'd actually gone through them all. And I don't know, have you ever met Tai?
I've been to one of his events. I haven't like shook his hand. No.
Which event did you go to?
It was this one that was in LA. It was at like some really nice resort. I forget. I don't know. It was years ago.
Yeah. I might have been there. I went to a couple and like I'm not like boys with Tai, but like I've hung out with Tai outside of his social media world and like the conference world. And it's interesting. The only reason I'm kind of like diving in on this is because it's really important right now for TopShot newbies, I think. And with a guy like Tai, I look at it, he provided this information there was plenty of people that took that information, whether it was for wealth, health, or happiness, all of his pillars that he talks about. And their lives got extremely better. I also read a book a day for a year. In the pandemic, I've read 300 books. Like I'm a big reader now because of it. But everyone would say, oh, like he's a scammer. But I can't, I know exactly what kind of business that is, that self-help type of business. And, like if you go to a Tony Robbins thing, you get pumped up and you just spent $5,000 and you come out and you're going to tackle the world. And then a lot of people just go back to Monday and do exactly what they did. They don't actually build upon it. And with TopShot, I'm a little older, so a lot of the conversations I'm having are with people that can say before the internet, right? And so when they sit there and you tell them like, "Oh, I'm buying these videos online of basketball players," it's the YouTube question. It's they can't they think it's a scam, a Ponzi scheme, all these things, and I think that like it started even like with the guy like Ty, that you could see value and improve. Am I hitting on some good chords there for you?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Like people like to call things a scam if they kind of get burned by it. And the only way you can get burned by something is if you don't do your research. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, you can get burned by Top Shot if you don't do your research. If you're just trying to get rich quick type of thing, and you're like, buying high, and then as soon as you see a little dip, you start panicking, and then you sell at a loss, and then you're like, it's a scam, and you start getting all pissed. Well, yeah, because you weren't patient enough to wait for the next pump. Like,
Right.
How is that a scam? That's your own doing. But yeah, see, there's a lot of, I think markets in general, but definitely Top Shot. A lot of it has to do with human psychology, and so I can very easily tell being a part of, Top Shot has an official Discord, and anyone who is involved with Top Shot should definitely join it because you can kind of know what's going on at all times with that. But there's a lot of new users in the Discord, and so you can usually tell how people are acting, what they're thinking. If they're freaking out, you can definitely start to tell some things are happening. People are starting to sell at a loss. You can tell that you're getting into kind of a dip, and for me, I use that as an advantage. I'll have to bail those people out,
Yeah.
but I'll never sell at a loss. I mean, sure, maybe 5% chance that if you sell at a loss, you can end up making more money. But let's be real. The majority of users that sell at a loss are not going to end up making more money from that, So it's kind of dangerous. You got to know what you're doing. You got to do your research.
I think so. In my background with poker, I was what we called a tight aggressive player. Like, and my poker friends would call me a nit, meaning like it was very hard to, like, you pretty much had to have like the best hand, and I had to have the second best hand to ever really extract any money from me. I was pretty good, and it was interesting because you have to learn what's called bankroll management, and I think that's huge. And I'm dealing with it, and I'm in a different financial bracket now than when I first started with poker. And it's so easy for me to just sit there and just buy on impulse sometimes. And I'll give you a good example. When the Luca dropped for the Cool Cats, it was $1,000, and I was like, you know what? I think that I can probably flip that pretty quick. And so I bought it, and then like it started going down. Like I watched it go down and down, and then got to like 650, and it sat there for like a day or two. And in Top Shot world, a day or two feels like forever. And I was just like, God, what a dumb move. And then it started ticking back up, and then I was like, I listed it for 3,000. And I was like, if it goes for 3,000, I'll be happy. And of course it did. And then went straight to 5,000, like 12 hours later, Yeah. And so I think what's funny with Top Shot now is really, as long as you're not like using your rent money, right?
Right.
As long as you're using, income that you don't need and can be tied up, then, if you do, instead of selling for a loss, like you just kind of have to hold out, and all my mistakes have ended up being wins, like just because I've been patient. And when I first, the first pack that I got, was the deck to hoop. Oh, I got a base set series one, but I thought that was all garbage. And then I got the deck to hoops, and I got the metallic Tatum, Carl Towns, and Harden. And I sold them for a combined $400 or $500, and I was like pumped
because you made a great profit on that, I'm sure.
I was like, I just doubled my money on the pack, and I happen to have the LeBron Deck the Hoops card from that too. So I was like, I've just doubled for the packs on these dinky cards that aren't worth a lot. And I'm trying to collect as much metallic now as I can. And so I literally bought back the Tatum and the Towns and the Harden for like $1,500. Like,
Yeah.
but they've now gone up and now they're each worth, 1,000 or 1,500. So it's really kind of interesting. And the growth, I think, can you speak to, like, has your growth in knowledge in TopShot accelerated more, like, say, October to December or December to now? Because I feel like in the first month I was making a lot of mistakes, but this last month I'm much better. But I think in large part is that because everything seems so sped up right now, that it actually, you're learning faster.
Yeah. Well, it was different for me because I started in October and I actually didn't sell a single moment until the pump in mid-January. So I wasn't really playing with the market during those times. And to be honest, it was extremely dry and it was really, really boring and not much was happening. And I was buying though, and I was buying some moments where people sold at a loss. Like there was small little cycles, right? There's always cycles. There's always going to be pumps and dips. Yeah. And I've learned my lessons the most from this recent January huge pump. And then we saw a correction, and now we're in another huge pump. And so now I'm learning you have to kind of change up your strategy when your portfolio starts to grow and like based off of what you want to do. And for me, I'm only playing with house money. Like I haven't put any money in since the beginning, and I just keep playing with flips and house money because at the moment, as far as capital wise, I can't really be putting any in. And so I'm just working with what I have and I'm growing it. And so, yeah, you definitely learn a lot. But, my strategy has changed since the last cycle. And I do believe, yes, we are going to see another correction. We always do. And then we will see another pump. And we will continue to see that till the end of time. But I do believe in an upwards direction.
Right. But just like the stock market.
Yeah.
It always goes up. Just
not everyone understands that. Like not every new user understands even the stock market or even cycles and how that works,
So I don't know what your relationship is with your family, but have you talked to your parents about this? I mean, are they aware of it? Is that an issue?
My twin sister, I introduced her, Jennifer, to TopShot one day after I learned about it, and she got into it right away as well. So we've both been into it this whole time. Our strategies are different, but we both kind of talk about it a lot, and we're both like super involved with it. She just created a whole YouTube channel to kind of teach new users, kind of update them what's going on. And then I just told my mom about it, and she is kind of starting to get really excited about it. She's not trying to flip things because it can be complicated for new users and scary. She's like,
so she's on it. Your mom's on it.
She's like, I had her create an account, and I was like, I'll send you a moment if you do. And she was like, okay. And so she got involved with it. And so every once in a while, she'll buy some moments, but she's not trying to sell. Like she is trying to hold for years. And I'm like, I'm so glad you have that mentality. And she, she's into it, but she's kind of scared to make decisions. You know what I mean? So I usually help her with that. Like we'll FaceTime each other and I'll like look at the market with her.
Wow. Are you a basketball household? Like, is your family into basketball? Because I've heard you say you're not really.
No, I mean, my mom's actually way bigger basketball fan than I am. She's really into it. I don't live with my mom though, but she's like super into the NBA. So she's trying to get the players she likes, I'm more into the like you can usually tell from the market who people like and who people don't, right?
Right.
But yeah, obviously I pay attention to things, but I'm not super involved with it.
It's funny. My parents are a little older than your parents probably. And so I've told them, kind of about some of my successes, and they're immediately sell, get rid of it all, sell it all. And I love my parents to death, My parents have created a very good life for themselves. They are not, to me, financially admirable. Like I'm not trying to achieve what they have. I'd like to be much more successful than they are, but they're happy with what they have. And so I'm like, I appreciate it. I'm not taking any advice,
Right.
on financial advice from you guys. But even still, like even, like having like my mentors and things, and they're just like, they're older and they're just like, are you crazy? Like, are you serious? So my question to you is where do you think, like, is this like a short-term thing or is it a long-term? Because you're like, is it wise to sit there and invest, let's just say like $3,000 and wait 5 years to see what happens with that $3,000? Because in my mind, partly like I think of, and I'll just use Serge Ibaka, right? Like you can sell me on that it's his first moment, that he's going to be retiring soon, yada yada yada. But is Serge Ibaka really going to be like $1,000 card 5 years from now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy, and that's why sometimes I feel like I have an advantage not knowing too much about the NBA, because when you say that, I'm like, I don't know anything about Serge Ibaka, but I know I have his card, and I know, and I know that it doesn't necessarily, even the worst NBA players, their moments are going to, they're still nobody's going to just be randomly completely falling behind while everyone else is up. Of course there'll be definitely huge differences, but for example, the S1 floor, so series 1, the floor for commons, for common moments, 3 days ago it was $13. If you look at the floor now, it's like $50 for the floor. Okay, even the worst players, that's like the bottom of the barrel players, they still rose, because they're the floor. The floor will always rise. So yeah, maybe they're always going to be at the bottom. Maybe they're not good. They'll always be at the bottom, but the bottom will keep rising, And yeah, I do believe that even the worst players, if you hold for 3 years, just because of the fact that this is ingrained with blockchain technology, and
Right.
because of the fact that we're so early, we're still in beta, that yes, I do believe that even if you only, bought a $2 moment, when they release some more packs and everyone, just sells off their commons. Yeah, I do believe that one day it will be worth a solid amount, just like you see happening with, crypto punks, crypto kitties. Crypto kitties weren't going for much, and now the floor is rising. The low is always rising. It's kind of crazy.
So it's you're obviously very good. You're a talkative person. You're good in front of the camera. Um, I'm going to assume that that had something to do with your TikTok presence as well. Can you kind of talk about like how that all started and how that's going now that your TikTok fans must be angry at you that you're dividing so much time away from it?
Yeah, I've kind of taken a little like week break, haven't posted in like a week, but yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to focus on more than one thing at a time. Personally, I don't know if I have ADD or what, but I'm like, I need to only focus on one thing. So it's been really hard for me to kind of, because my TikTok, when I originally started that a year ago, a lot of young kids were on the platform, and I really wanted to help kids that were in the LGBTQ community be confident with who they were, because I was really struggling with that as a kid, and I wanted to help kids. So for me, it was like a whole year. It's been really great, and I've learned a lot of what kids go through and how they feel and problems. And I'm also realizing though that a lot of kids feel trapped a lot of the time, and like they can't get out of their situation that they're in. And I think financially, that can be a great way out. Is if you can actually learn how to make money online. And so I think eventually in the future, I would love to be able to like help. Obviously, you can't be younger than 18 to use TopShot, but I would love to be able to help, at least teens get into this and start learning kind of the market and learning this stuff. And ideally, I want to be able to make videos and help new users, learn how to do this, because it's kind of a good outlet and it's a good way out of, whatever financial situation you're in. If you have nothing to lose, you buy one $9 pack and you can start there and you can
Yeah.
keep flipping up.
it's you. You said you dropped out of college and you were doing a communications degree. I have a communications degree. It makes for a great mouse pad now. Um, I've always said that if I were to have an 18-year-old daughter now, or son or child that was going into college, I would actually deter them from going into college unless they wanted to be like a lawyer or a doctor. And in large part, I've like it, from the Tai Lopez community, um, like I've known kids literally that 18, 19 years old that have become millionaires, that have created their own businesses, have learned levels of investing. And it's not like you're ever going to be sitting in a college class and they're going to be discussing TopShot.
Right.
However, if you're in the Discord, and obviously there's sub Discords that you can be a part of, and hopefully when you go in, you can kind of find and connect with certain people, and they'll invite you in. As long as you're a new person that is hungry to learn and add to the community, and not just wanting to know when are the packs dropping,
Yeah.
So I've always kind of said that, and you've kind of made my assumption of like, would this have actually worked? I think that you're kind of like a good example of that, and just how different this world is, like from your TikTok to your TopShot. I don't know if you have a day job or what that is, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and just assume that like you're kind of living like pretty close to your best life right now.
I mean, financially, no, but I'm always living my best life because like my mindset. But no, financially, I'm like, oh man, my first goal right now, like I'm pushing it because I haven't withdrawn yet. I'm pushing it financially right now. So when I'm able to, the thing is, there are some, and people need to understand this, but there are some things that need to be fixed with TopShot right now. Withdrawing, you can't, if you had $100,000 portfolio, you couldn't just sell everything and withdraw 100,000.
Right.
There's limits, and you can only withdraw a very small amount and only of time. So it kind of takes a long time to like withdraw a lot. And so I'm really hoping that they actually work on that really quick and fix it so that, if someone did want to withdraw, they don't freak out. Because that's kind of what happened in the last dip, is people started freaking out because they couldn't withdraw. They couldn't even withdraw $100 because you have to apply, and then it takes weeks. And people need to understand that we're still in beta. There's a lot of things that, don't put your rent money in, like be careful, because expect the money that you put in, you not being able to get out for a little bit, because they are still working on a lot of things with the withdrawal, and that a lot of people don't know about, because they're new users and they just see, oh, portfolio is growing. Well, yeah, your portfolio is growing. But you do realize that, you don't get any of the money unless you withdraw it, right?
Right. And that, I mean, I had that experience. So like I played online poker, and the last 2 years of my career, I was like multi-tabling, like 5 to 10 tables at a time. And this is when poker was no longer legal in the United States. Like it's still banned, except in like a few states. And so I would have to do like the withdrawals, and I would get physical checks from like Malaysia and Singapore and Cambodia, and it would be like raised florist. Like it was very sketchy. So that's definitely something that they want to get right. And Wade's part of the community was actually a friend of the show. He was actually saying too how he has a mate that's got like 900K in Dapper, not even in Moments, just like in like cashed out, but he can't pull it out.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where like I tell people, like I've every podcast, everybody that's kind of a content creator for this always says, we don't give financial advice. When I'm speaking to my friends, I've never told them, to do anything. And I've had a social media management company. I have an Airbnb company now. Like, I've had all these things, and I'm like, you really should kind of look into this idea. Top Shot's the first that I'm like, hey, everybody, like, you need to like even if you just buy $1,000 worth of LeBron or Steph Curry, whatever, and just put it away. I was like, trust me, you'll want to do that. And it's funny because I feel like I missed out on Bitcoin. I have zero Bitcoin. I've bought a couple times, like small amounts, and then when it went up, like I got out, but it was never anything substantial. And now that it's over 50K, I'm like, in all honesty, it's like, okay, if I could buy one Bitcoin, the chances of it, like for it to go and double to 100K versus if I took that 50K and put it on TopShot, like,
Yeah. Yeah. TopShot's been pretty crazy. Yeah. If you're willing, exactly. If you're willing to wait, it will pay off. You know what I mean? If you're impatient, you will get burned because what happened in the last, cycle where we were kind of in a little downslope, there was a lot of problems going on at the time with the website. A lot of users started, panicking, right? And what happens was they were selling their whole accounts, whole portfolios outside of the marketplace to kind of get the money. But they were selling at like a 50% loss. Like I bought someone's account at 50% of what it was at worth. And so, if you reach the level of desperation, it's going to suck. And, and who even knows if they were even profitable? Like they were probably buying at the top of that cycle and then selling lower and then 50% on top of that as a discount for cash outside of the marketplace. Like,
right.
So that's why I'm like, if you are going to buy something, don't look back and don't freak out if there's a dip. Wait for the next rise if you want to sell it. Otherwise, keep it for a while. Like, just be patient. Just keep it for a while. Why would you freak out? Like, it's just been a few weeks.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy, friend of mine, and he's from the traditional card space, and he's still not like he knows that he needs to be in it, but he just doesn't quite get it. And he was telling me he sold a card. He bought it for like 13 and he sold it for like 30. And now it's going for like 80 or 90, like a couple days later. And I'm like, dude, I was like, you tripled your money.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like you won. And it's like, and I get it, but like absolutely everything you do right now, like if you sell anything, any card, I would say from this point beyond, like from the beginning of Top Shot to right now, any card that you sell, I guarantee that you will, months down the road be like, God, why did I let that LeBron go for $1,000? That the no look 3, and now it's maybe like 3 or 4,000.
Yeah, think in terms of months. Like, don't think in terms of days. Some people do.
And that's so I do. I also invest in just NFTs. Are you into that, like Nifty Gateway and stuff?
Not yet. That's my next goal, but not yet.
So they had a very big day today with a Micah Johnson drop, and I bought 2 of the open editions. With the intentions of longer term holds. Like I have no intention of selling it like right away. However, I have impulse bought certain things like on the secondary market because I saw it going up, and like I bought this one particular thing at like 6,000, and I was like, I immediately posted for 10, and I'm like, when's it gonna go? And then the line just went flat. Now I know I strongly believe that I will get the like 10,000 for it, and I'll make the profit that I want. And maybe if I end up holding it a little longer, like maybe I even raise it and try and get more, because if you can't make the immediate flip, then it's kind of like, well, maybe you need to just hold it for longer. The hard part though is like when like that was $6,000 that I was like, oh, click, and now that 6,000 is kind of locked up. you know.
Right.
But I mean, and it doesn't matter what level you're at that, like that can certainly happen. Like CJ McCollum tweeted last night, and it was
Yeah.
funny because they got like a little bit of a pump, but Josh Hart stole the show with
Hmm.
his Twitch, and so when I saw CJ's tweet, like I went and bought like three metallics, and I was kind of like there again, like waiting, like, all right, it's gonna go to like 3,000 and I'm gonna get out. And it didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. So on that note, because Josh Hart recently, he did a whole Twitch stream. He was opening packs. So when he first tweeted about it before the stream, he's like, he was getting into NBA TopShot and he's like, who has my moments? I want to buy them. And then he was like, I'm going to stream tomorrow. Well, I had 3 of his moments that I had open from packs months ago. So I was like, all right, his moment was scraping the floor on S1 to 17 forever. Like his moments were always on the floor, always. And so I saw them and I was like, $64, I'm going to sell one right now. On the way up, you're never going to be able to sell perfectly at the top, right? So I was like, 64, I'm going to sell right now. Second one, I'm going to put at 80. That seems crazy, but I'm going to put it at 80. I put it at 80. Next thing you know, 80 sells. Then I was like, oh, shoot. Next thing you know, it's at like 100. And I was like, okay, this compared to the other ones you can get for 100 is not worth it. Like, this is good to sell. But people were buying it. They were buying it. Then during the stream the next day, because I was like, I have one more left. I'm going to wait for the stream. Once the stream goes, it starts coming up again. I sold it at like 250. Wow. And apparently at the peak of the stream, it tipped 500. My friend, not my friend, but my like acquaintance in a Discord bought it at 500. Right when I told everyone that I had sold mine at 250, I was like, guys, I'm selling mine at 250. He buys it at 500 because he thought it was just gonna keep going up. And then he's like, guys, it's down 185. Should I just sell it? I was like, why would you buy it in the first place? Like, that's really risky. I get it, but that's really risky. Like, that's really, really risky, Like,
I feel okay with my base moment or with my metallic CJ McCollum's, but I did buy like his base 2 or his base 1 for 600 and it went and it's now down to like 400. But there again, like it's CJ McCollum, like it's base 1, like I'm sure like it'll get back to whatever.
Eventually it'll pump back up. It's just, how long is it going to be? And could you have used the opportunity cost? You know what I mean? Like, of course it's always a toss up on that.
Well, when I'm hoping that like this Twitch live pack opening is a thing that these guys that, TopShot does. It was weird because like usually like TopShot's kind of engaged in like, obviously they did with Josh Hart. Maybe Josh like engaged a little bit more. But it's like if CJ goes and does a Twitch stream, then I look like a genius and unload my CJs,
Right. And as long as you do unload your CJs, because I know there'll people that be like, I'm just gonna keep holding it, and you just can't freak out when it goes back down. Of course, you just can't freak out. But yeah, I'm sure you're smart. You will sell at a profit, but it's just that like people that buy emotionally, sometimes they also sell emotionally. And sometimes, that means that it's at a loss. So it's just, it's kind of like that quote that it's like, be fearful when everyone's greedy and be greedy when everyone's fearful.
Someone's been reading books.
Kind of that. Like personally, I've been selling a lot because we're in a pump and I'm like, I'm selling while we're in a pump and I'm reinvesting. But my strategy is different. I'm not reinvesting in buying floor prices because I'm waiting for another dip to buy floors. I'm buying good cereals. I'm buying single-digit cereals because single-digit cereals are more time sensitive because whales and OGs buy those up and then they raise the floor really high because they're like, I'm going to hold these. I'm strong hands, but I'm buying up the single digits because right now kind of have weak hands holding them. So it's like, it's a great time to buy the single digits. Buying the floors, I haven't bought the floors in the past couple of days. I've just been selling the floors.
It's interesting. So I pulled the LeBron Deck the Hoops and we sold it for 8,000 and it was so long, like it was teetering, and it was like, and it finally went for like 8,000. It's like, whoa, like this is legit. And then of course, like 2 weeks later, it was going for like 25, and the thing about it is, and this is very important for anyone that's kind of new. It's like, yeah, I that hurts that I to go from 8 to 25 in 2 weeks, but that 8,000 I reinvested in so many moments that are collectively up. And in fact, like so what we did was we sold that, and then we bought the Kobe LeBron tribute dunk for 2,000. Like, it's like, let's just see where this goes, and we now know where that one's going too. So it's like, once we sell it, we kind of did the same thing. But what's funny is, like, kind of holding those big cards is really long term, and like you said with the whales, because like I feel like anything you list really over 15,000, like, you just got to wait, because it's very seldom that it's going to move. And you should kind of wait, unless it's like a LeBron. I think people just are constantly trying to level up to get LeBron anyways. But I have, like I have CJ's number 4 for the metallic, and I listed it for 20, which is way too much, but
someone will eventually buy it.
Yeah.
Will eventually buy it. It's like, if you have strong hands, you're better off just listing at a really high price that you're comfortable selling at. Because if you list it too low, then it goes quickly, and you're like, dang, I'm never going to be able to get that again, because there's only ever going to be in one moment 9 single digits,
Yeah.
So it's like, even if it's out of 15,000, there's only ever going to be 9, and that the people with the money are going to want those. So like, and they will raise the floor, like, for example. And sometimes you see good opportunities, like, for example, who's the player? Shoot, I forget. There's one player who's gonna get a rookie badge. 2 rookie badges he's gonna get, and he's actually the only player from Series 2 that's getting 2 rookie badges. That's like the lowest price. It's like the lowest price for the floor. $30.
I got a little choppy there, the connection. Still.
I'll wait.
You're good.
Okay, we're good?
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't care about buying the little floor $30. I'm going to look at the single digits. And I bought 7 single digits, and I'm going to control the single digits, and I'm going to push that floor up really high when it gets those rookie badges too. And I know people are going to want to buy those, eventually. And I have strong hands, so I'll hold until they sell at that price.
What do you think is like a good, so like, let's say the floor on a card is $100, and in a single digit, like what is like the most, like what's a good multiplier of that $100, like for a number 9? Like, if you get, obviously, like if you could get a number 9 for 1,000, is that like a steal? Uh-oh.
Okay, sorry, you cut out at the last part. What did you say at the last part?
Okay, I was saying, if like the floor was like, let's not even 100, let's say like $50, and like you could get a single digit for 1,000. Like, is that a steal?
Well, it depends. It really depends, because what card it, like what moment is it?
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a lot that you can get single digit for $1,000, but I was specifically looking at the rookies, because
Right.
That's going to be a midterm flip for me. So 1 to 2 months, I am going to end up flipping those. I might keep my, but if you want to sell for listing, or for trying to list, or you trying to buy?
Okay.
Okay, so we're back. Okay. It depends if you're trying to list or you're trying to buy, and it depends if you want to quickly sell it and make a decent profit. If I was looking, for example, for all of my rookie, the ones that are getting 2 rookie badges out of 4,000 serial max.
Right.
Pay 5K for a digit. Everyone's different.
Yeah. We keep breaking up a little bit.
I know, we're back now. We're back now.
You tell your sister to stop streaming while we're streaming. She's clogging up our line.
For real. I don't even think she's streaming right now.
I asked Plunge Father this when we had him on, because Plunge is a great character, and he's just a regular guy, and there's always an interesting thing about like celebrityness within any community, and he has emerged as one. You have emerged as one. You at least have the background as a TikTok influencer, so I always kind of like I said to Plunge, I was like my one bit of advice, because I've been an influencer of sorts too. Like I have a pretty massive Instagram following and stuff, and I told him, I was like, you got to learn to say no, like, because so many people are going to be commenting and asking, and it's like, and you have your own life. I was like, you gotta learn to start saying no. Like right now it's cool, but like, as this grows, there is that, definitely potential, like you can be the queen of TopShot, just like he will be the Plunge Father, and like these names will actually kind of garner a little bit of a celebrityness, if you will. So how do you deal with that, and how do you kind of separate it?
Sorry, say that whole thing one more time, because you really cut out during that.
Yeah. Oh, good star. I was just saying, like with the celebrity of like kind of being this influencer, and let's be real, like we're not like big time celebrities, but you're getting flooded with a lot of DMs and ats and questions and stuff. You came from that world of TikTok, so you've probably had a little bit more experience, like just kind of dealing with the social media element that you have to face on a day-to-day, and responding to everyone and kind of being nice, I guess.
I so many times today I had to copy paste the same thing. Hey, sorry, but I don't give specific investment advice. Everyone has their own strategy. I had to say that to so many people, because they're like, can you look at my account and tell me exactly what I should buy and exactly what I should sell? And I'm like, first of all, I don't even know your goals. I don't even know your strategy. Second of all, you shouldn't be asking a random person like me, like, what to do. Like, you got to do your own research. You shouldn't be asking people this. And I'm definitely not going to give you specific advice like that. I would not. I said depend on what your strategy is, and has their own strategy, So
yeah,
ask questions like that.
Yeah, I'm not a big Twitter presence. Like I have my Twitter following, which is diverse, not just TopShot. Are we still connected, Steph?
We're frozen a little bit.
Yeah, your screen's still frozen.
Okay.
So, well, I tell you what. Why don't we?
Hold on, let me get my cat out of here.
What's that? Oh, the cat.
All right, sorry about that.
It's funny because I don't have like a day job where all these people that are using Zoom, and so I'm kind of like, well, maybe this is how it actually is for everybody. I don't know, but no, the like just when I wrote a book a couple of years ago, and I got a pretty big following from it, and so like I was just bombarded. It's one thing to be like, should I buy Sam Merrill at $15 right now, but like getting the other questions, which I imagine actually in your TikTok you got more of, where it's the life questions and stuff, and it's like sometimes people slide into your DMs and it's like, bro, like I'm just a guy with a social media. I'm not like I'm not your guru.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility, especially because for me on TikTok, I influence a lot of young kids, and and kids go through a lot of struggles. They really do, because when you're older, you have thick skin, but when you're a kid, everything's so fragile, you know, and everything's so sensitive. So yeah, I have people sending me their whole life story and, you know, their whole situation, and it's sad, and it's like, it's hard for sure, but you know, that comes with attention is, yeah, more responsibility, and that's kind of just how it is, you know, more responsibility.
Yeah. So what's your what made you decide to like really kind of take the social media angle for this and not just be like a user and just do your own Top Shot thing, but to actually like it's one thing to be in the discords and chatting, but like to take it to the next level. What kind of spawned that?
Yeah, I've barely touched the water into taking it to the next level. I have a lot of kind of plans to get myself out there way more, because I think I see huge opportunity, and I think there needs to be more leaders in the space. I think there needs to be people who are willing to help facilitate outside communities and not just the official Top Shot Discord, but like we need people. You know, people want someone to be able to kind of like look up to and ask questions and interact and make friends with other people that are interested in that person as well. And I just see such huge opportunity, and I know that I personally am willing to put myself out there, and so I kind of feel like it's my duty to do that because I'm already so involved. It's like, what am I going to do? Hide behind the scenes? I don't even like to hide behind the scenes. So like, I'm willing to put myself out there, and I will do that, you know.
You know what I see? I thought about this after we tweeted to each other about like being doing the show, and I was like, certainly post COVID, I was like, there's going to be a convention like a year or two from now, like the Las Vegas Top Shot convention, and like we're all going to like actually get to see each other like face to face and
Yeah.
stuff. And I think that it's going to be. I hope that that's in the works. I think that's definitely something that's down the line though. But that would be really cool. That's the coolest.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. And even virtual events too. Like I would love to be a part of hosting those, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that would be awesome. Just anything that can help connect people together and make you feel like you're really part of a community. I love that. And I love like helping kind of facilitate that. And I think there's so much room in the space for a lot of people to do that. You know, a lot of people need to be stepping up as leaders. Like we need a lot of creators in this space because it's going to be huge. You know, I'm just going to be one of them. Like there's going to be a ton. So yeah, I think there's so much potential, so much opportunity for anyone who wants to be involved with this, not just on the investing side, but like as a creator, for even updates and announcements and, you know, what's going on in Top Shot world, for sure.
I'll have to tweet. We'll have to get like a campaign. Obviously, we got to with the COVID thing, but it's like we need to get like a Twitter campaign to Roham, and maybe like we have like our own day at like CES next year in Vegas, or like E3 or something like that. My buddy works for Microsoft, and so every year I get to go to like the E Expo here in LA, and like I've got to meet Ninja and PewDiePie,
Nice.
and like they were always there at those, and those are pretty cool. And I'm not even a gamer, but it's like, you know, you show respect. Like, all right, Ninja. You know,
Yeah, right. For
you know.
sure. There'll be one for NFTs. For sure. There'll be a huge one for NFTs soon, I bet.
The first NFT that I ever bought was these rings. They're OG esports championship rings, and they released there's something like 12 of them, and they had like limited editions for each one. And of course, like one of them was like the lowest, like most generic one. And the first pack that I opened, I got this one, and it was a white ring, and I was like, ah, and they were $200 a pop. So I hit it again, and I got another white ring. I was like, ah, and then I hit it again, and I got a better one, and I was like, well, maybe I can. I ended up buying 10, but like they're finally starting to move. I'm starting to sell my rings.
Good. Good
No
for
more,
you.
no more Lord of the Rings, but it's just too. That's the difference. It's funny now that they've made that update where you can't just like click buy the lowest card right away. I wonder how that's going to change things. Because like Nifty Gateway, it's really scary how easy it is to just hit that buy button multiple times. And it's like, I didn't mean to buy 10, 5 would have been excessive as it was. But
Yeah.
what do you think about that new button change?
I think they're testing it out. I don't know that they're permanently going to do that. I think they're testing it out, and because they have a lot of stuff to be testing right now. Like we're still in beta, but the demand is huge. It's kind of getting stressful for the team. Like I know all the devs are really stressed out right now. There's a lot going on, and so I don't know if that's a permanent thing. Personally, I don't like it, but I don't know if that's a permanent thing or not.
Right. Well, we've hit almost an hour. Linux got caught up in the snow in Chicago, and obviously doesn't have his priorities straight. He should have been able to get through that. No, winter weather has kept him out. We'll have him on the next time. Is there anything else going on with you, Steph, that you want the TopShot world to know about you?
I just want to say that, I'm excited to kind of virtually be able to meet everyone at a future NBA Top Shot event. But until then, feel free to reach out and, tweet me, DM me, whatever. I'll always, at least for now, while I don't have that much followers on Twitter, I'll respond to DMs, but don't ask for advice. Just like say hey and I'll respond back and we can have a little conversation.
Well, you're doing a great job. I obviously look to your tweets for myself. But you're even better in person or in Zoom than I expected. And I'm happy that you're part of the community, and I'm now a part of actually your community. It's funny because you're an OG, and it's so silly because it's October.
Yeah, I know, right?
Even like the guys like LG, who does a great job with his podcast, The First Mint. Shout out to LG. And people claim like that he's an OG. He's like, yo, I'm like, I've been in for like 2 months or something. Like
in September, I think he said.
Did he start? Is he an actual OG? But he doesn't even consider himself an OG.
But OGs, like, it's hard because like the June people are OGs, like in my eyes.
Yeah, exactly. But like I thought Plunge Father was like had been around, and I was actually in before he was, And so it's amazing how just everything has just grown. It's almost like a mushroom after a rainstorm. Like boom, where did that come from? And here we are in the Magic Kingdom, So I want to be a little educational. What's your top 3 books that you recommend, since you're a reader, and we'll see if they match my 3.
Okay, I really like How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That was the first personal development book I ever read. Mm-hmm. Changed my life. Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. Love Malcolm Gladwell. He's a really good writer. He does so much research.
Do you like Blink better than Outliers?
I really like both. I don't know.
Because they're all, it's like Malcolm Gladwell, right? Like
it's really all of his books, really. Yeah. But The Tipping Point is a really good book by him. Yep. Third one, probably The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Ooh. That helped me out of probably my deepest point.
Those are 3 solid ones. My if I went on Ty's list, it'd be different, but I ventured off that list a bit. I like my favorite book is Siddhartha, which is kind of like like similar to The Alchemist of Paulo Coelho, but it's not as popular as The Alchemist. I like Think and Grow Rich, and actually my favorite one from Ty's list was actually a book called Attached.
Oh, and yeah.
That blew my, like, I actually quoted it in my own book that I wrote. And it was, I literally read that book, and I was going through a breakup at the time. And I was like, did they know her? Did they know her? Like, This is her. And this is me. And that book, for anybody that's feels like they've had issues with their relationships, like that was a great that's the best relationship book I think I've ever read.
Secure attachment, insecure, anxious, avoidant, right? It's really good. I don't even think I read all of it, but I highlighted a lot in it. I just read the highlighted parts.
Well, since I know you're a reader, you'll have to tweet me your address, and I'll send you a signed copy of my book. It's called The Bartending Therapist for anybody that wants to get it. It's on the Kindle's on Amazon. If you're a Kindle person, let me know. You can pay the 99 cents. I'll get my 30-cent royalty from that one. So
Okay, for sure. I'm excited. All right, I'll read it.
yeah, if I was on TikTok, I would blow you up, but I've not figured out TikTok yet.
It's all good, man.
I feel a little too old and a little like I might be a little creepy if I was heavy on TikTok, even though I know that there's more content than just girls dancing. So
It'll evolve too. It's barely TikTok just started a year ago. It was Musically before, but it just started a year ago. It's brand new. It's just like TopShot. It's in beta.
yeah, I feel like my life is in beta sometimes.
Yeah, right. We're still in beta. Still in beta, folks.
Well, I appreciate you stepping on the show. Be sure to follow Steph on Twitter. It's her name at Twitter, and we're around in the Discord. Please comment any questions you have. We'll try and answer them. And if you have any guests that you want to recommend or have connections, let me know. And I'm more than happy to have them on, especially if they're tied to TopShot or basketball. One of the big things, unfortunately, Linux wasn't able to join us because of the snow, but with so much content out there for TopShot, like we want to kind of pull back the curtain on the people that are making this community what it is, and Steph is a big part of that. So we thank you. That's going to do it for TopShot NFT this evening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much, man.